How's it going, guys? Nick Auld here with another episode of Ozark Angling. We're on our way to do a little bit of crappie fishing off my buddy's dock. I was out fishing on Monday and happened to do pretty good. Caught some crappie around his dock and figured I'd go back and make a video about it. It's 42 degrees here and it's a little bit windy, so there's a little bit of a chill. So I'm wearing some bibs, I'm wearing a jacket, but I think I can do pretty good and catch some crappie. I got about an hour and a half to fish, so I figure I'd get on the water and give it hell, see what happens. And hopefully we can catch a good slabs and get some fillets out of them. And I can show you guys some of my techniques as far as catching crappie this time of year. The water's still really cold, it's 41 degrees at the tops. And we can catch some nice ones, and I can kind of show you the techniques that I use. It's pretty simple. I mean, crappie fishing, it's fairly straightforward. Small baits, whether you use a jig, curly tail grub, or you use a minnow, pretty much dropping it down. But the trick is finding where they're staging at and holding. So before I get this party on the road, I just wanted to say thanks to the Wilburn family for letting me use their dock to catch some crappie and fill my freezer a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out a way to kind of return the favor. I think maybe I'll take them out for a few trips this year out on the water, go catch some nice bass, maybe go do some walleye fishing. But yeah, if you guys are looking for a nice place on the water, their home, they're actually selling it, which is kind of sad because it's a beautiful location and great dock. I mean, just an awesome location on the water and by land. But yeah, Phyllis Morris, she's the realtor, and if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll send you in the right direction. So last week when I was here fishing, I didn't do very good at all until I switched to a plum curly tail grub. It's kind of a purple with green fleck with a chartreuse tail. It worked really good. Majority of my fish that I caught came out of this little slip right here. We're going to start here, see if we can't get bit. And if I do, stick around. If I don't, I'll move around the dock, try and see what part of the dock they're sitting under. Now, the water clarity is about the same as before, so shouldn't be much of a change as far as that goes. Okay, there's the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm going all the way to the bottom, and I'm just gently twitching it and pulling it up. And that way I'm hitting different depth ranges. And if I get bit at a particular depth range, I try to repeat that process and go back to it. Look at that slab. I think they're sitting on the outside edge of this dock. We're going to try it one more time. If that's the case, move the camera over there. So I got my second nice crappie over there on the ledge. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on my hat. And we're going to see what we can do over there. So I found these crappie are hanging out on the outside edge of this dock. And the only thing I can think is different is the wind from on earlier this week has changed. Now it's blowing straight in whereas it was blowing straight out of the cove. It's coming straight at us this way, when the other day it was coming that way and we were in the dead spot. Well, now we're in the wind, and I venture to say that these crappie are now just sitting on the outside edge instead of under the dock because of that change. And we also had a cold front come through, so I think it probably pulled them back a little bit into that little bit deeper water. So we'll see what happens. Caught 2 here in 2 minutes. I would imagine to say there's probably a small school down there, and I think they're going to be right about where my rod tip is, right underneath that. And the depth has been pretty consistent. Within 2 foot of the bottom is where I was getting bit. So just kind of moving it up and down. And all I'm doing is, since it's so cold, I'm not doing the big strokes like I normally do, like that. I'm doing just short little rod tip jumps. I mean, just enough to make the rod tip jump. But what that does is make that grub really move under the water. Let's move back out here on the corner of this dock, because I'm pretty sure they're associating to this corner because the wind's blowing in pretty strong. Look at that fan over there on that dock just turning. Probably hear it through the camera. Make sure you get all the way to the bottom. Okay, there's bottom. Reel up about a foot. There's one. Oh, that's a good one. Woo! Look at that slab. There we go. We got her. Look at that fish, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you want an Ozark crappie, that's an Ozark crappie. Look at the size of that mouth. Out there, like I said, on that corner of that dock. Look at him. Well, guys, we came out and gave it a shot. We had about an hour to fish, and we ended up with 3 fish, but we ended up with this monster. Look at the size of that baby. That's a quality Lake Ozark crappie right there. We figured out that they were staging on the corner of the dock where the wind was blowing in on it, and they moved out from right here in that 10 to 12 foot out to that 12 to 14 foot range. They're still around that brush pile. They wanted to be in the brush, but any day you can go out for an hour and catch a slab like that, that's a good day. Now we're gonna go clean them, have ourselves a fish fry. Well, guys, we came out and did a little bit of crappie fishing. Hour's up. I had to finish up. Gotta get ready to do other activities this evening, and we only caught 3 fish, but we narrowed it down to where they were at. They're over there on that front corner in that 12 to 14 foot range, and caught three keepers, 1 monster slab, a good Lake of the Ozarks crappie. I just wanted to give a good shout out to the Wilburn family. They were nice enough to let me come down and use their dock and fish off of it, and I appreciate that. Anytime anybody offers you a place to fish, you need to be gracious about that, and I really am, because that crappie, biggest crappie I'm probably going to catch all year long, and that's a good size one, and I want to appreciate that. And also give you guys a little inside tip. This jerkbait right here, if you guys are watching the video, throw it in the spring when that water clears up. It's a good one. It'll definitely catch some fish around these rocks. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. The Wilburn family is actually selling their home here at the lake, so the best thing I can do to say thank you for them is announcing that their home is for sale here. It's in a prime location in North Buck Creek. just in the middle of the lake. I mean, Shady Gators isn't but a 5-minute boat ride from here, and that's just cruising around in a pontoon, and it's off the main lake, so it's not going to be super rough. And the lake home is a beautiful home. So if you're looking for a lake home, or if you're considering moving to the lake, definitely get a hold of Phyllis Morris and Associates here at the lake. They're a Remax dealer. Their number is 573-317-3688. Give them a call, and they can give you some more specs on it. The home is beautiful. If I had the money, I would definitely buy it. So anyways, thanks for joining me on today's adventure of catching some crappie, and hopefully you don't have to wait too long before we get back on the water. Alright guys, at this point in time, if you get grossed out by fish guts and stuff like that, I suggest you just stop the video, because I'm going to be showing what I believe is to be one of the most effective ways to clean fish so you get the most out of them. As a hunter and a fisher, I believe that any game that you keep or fish that you keep for yourself to eat, you should at least do the right thing and get as much out of the fish or animal that you kill and use it in its entirety. Now, one thing I'd like to show you guys is the way I clean my crappie. And it's pretty simple. I put my finger right there, pull that, put your finger right on the gill, go straight in, cut, turn the knife 90, turn that knife 90 degrees like that, and just go right down the spine. Flip over, go like that, and it peels right off. Now, one thing I like to do, because I don't like to waste the fish, I try to get as much out of them as I can. You go right here, you get right behind that bone, you just flip the knife sideways, and you get a perfect little crappie nugget. It's not a lot, but you know what? I don't like to waste fish. You know, you're taking this fish, you're taking its life, and you're going to eat it. Well, you might as well eat everything you can of it. So you go like that, flip the fillet over, see how thin that is? You cut it all the way down to the bone. And you just take that knife and run it right down. And you get all that meat off that fillet. And you take your knife, and you go like this, go right in underneath that head. Look at that crappie nugget. I mean, that's a good little bite right there. It's not a lot, but look at how much you got. I mean, you can see through that fish. And you didn't waste hardly anything. And when you do that, you can definitely make it worthwhile to clean a bunch of them. You get a lot more meat. To do the ribs, I just go like this, get underneath all the rib bones, and then just pull up, and you end up with a nice fillet like that. And on the other side of it, you just go the same way. Get right underneath the rib bones, and just pull up, and you got yourself a boneless fillet, ready to rock and roll. On the bigger crappie, you can get a full fillet out of the ribs. Now here's the big boy. Look at the size of that crappie. That's a good 2-pound crappie right there. Just like before, go in, cut in, turn the knife 90, go right down the rib, past that, down the spine, get really close to that spine, turn that knife about a 30-degree angle, push forward. Look at how big that chunk is. Let nothing go to waste. If you're an outdoorsman and you hunt and you cook your meat, you try to waste as little as possible. Look at that big crappie fillet. And here we go. Like I said before, go right in. Rotate your knife 90. Yep. There we go. You get that fillet out of there. Big old crappie nuggets. And you didn't waste anything. You can see right through that fish.